Hello, welcome back to some Strat-O-Matic baseball. I'm continuing my Negro League Diamond Gem Barnstorming tour. Today, we have the Kansas City Monarchs in Cincinnati to take on the 1941 Cincinnati Reds. And that would be the 1942 Kansas City Monarchs. Starting for the Monarchs will be Satchel Paige, who's making his second start in our Barnstorming tour, as he started for the 1936 Crawfords, who were pummeled by the 1934 New York Yankees. So he will get a second chance to showcase his talents. And going for the Reds will be Bucky Walters, who you can see there was 19-15 with 2 saves, a 2.83 ERA. He did a good job pitching. The Cincinnati club came in third place in 1941 in the National League at 88-66. Very good pitching team, not a great offensive team. So here you can see we got a bad night in Cincinnati weather-wise. So we've got 1 to 10 for singles and no home runs. So again, tweaking the screen here, I was able to get the logos up. So I thought that would add a little pizzazz to the presentation. And again, just trying to get it as visually appealing as possible. So without further ado, let's get started. So leading off for the Monarchs will be Bill Sims, left fielder. So here we go. I'm going to try my best to do a better job of remembering the runners. So hopefully I'm getting better every game. So that's a 4-9 versus a lefty. 1 to 8 would be a single, but that's a 15. So that's going to be a line out to Fry at second base. And we quickly have one away here in the top of the first. Batting second for the Monarchs is Newt Allen, playing third base today. He hit 248 in this season at hand. That's a 4-6 versus a righty, and that's a hard ground ball to Juiced at shortstop. He fields it cleanly and fires on to first for out number 2. Two away for Ted Strong, the right fielder. He hit 292, 17 homers, 70 RBIs. That's a 3-7 versus the righty, and that's a 13, so that's going to be a solid single. So a 2-out hit here for the Monarchs. So Strong is not a big candidate to steal. So they're going to hold him on. Walters holds at a 0, and Lombardi, the catcher, is a +1. So if he gets a 5, he can get a lead. So he's going to try. And he gets a 9. So that's an 11. He's being held. So that would be a 1 to 12. 9. Actually, a 1 to 10. So with 2 outs. He's going to go for it with 2 outs. So 1 to 10, he steals second base. And 14. So Lombardi guns him down. So that would be caught stealing 2 to 4 for out number 3. So the Reds being a little aggressive here did not pay off for them. So that will leave Willard Brown. Or sorry, the Monarchs, rather. Being a little aggressive did not pay off. So that would be a caught stealing 2 to 4. So that'll do it for the Monarchs. And we go to the bottom of the first. No score. So Satchel Paige, again, with a second opportunity here to shine in our Negro League Barnstorming. Again, he got beat up pretty good by the 34 Yankees when he was with the 36 Crawfords. So here in this campaign, he was 20-10 with a 2.12 ERA. So Billy Werber, the Cincinnati third baseman, will lead off. And I can't find the tower. That's a 3-4, so that's a bouncer back up the middle, and Page will field it and throw out Werber for out number 1. Lloyd Wayner, Cincinnati right fielder, will bat second. He hit .292 and 219 at bats. He's in the lineup as a lefty with the right-handed Page. That's a 5-4, and that's a third base X. Newt Allen is a 224. So we'll see what he's able to do. At third base, a 2. See, he got a 16, so that's a G1, and that's a 5, so a G1 rare play. If there's a runner on first, the batter hits a ground ball to the runner. He's not a runner on first. With no runner on first, the batter grounds out with the runners holding. So that's a ground out to third base. Newt Allen is able to make a good play on that for out number 2. That brings up Lonnie Fry, the second baseman. He hit .254, 6 homers, 59 RBIs. He did have 29 doubles. So Satchel Paige looking to retire the Reds 1-2-3. Gets a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. So this is kind of toward the end of Page's career, even though he did play with Cleveland in the late 40s. As I understand it, his arm kind of went dead, and for some reason it came back. So this is him bouncing back. So as you can see from his card, he had a good year. And he retires the Cincinnati Reds in order here in the first. We head to the top of the second. No score. Willard Brown, who was at the plate when Ted Strong was caught stealing, will lead off here in the second. That's a 4-4 versus the righty. That's a catcher's card, and Lombardi is a 3-6. So we'll see what he's able to do. So that's a 13-3. So that's a PF. And he's a 6, and he wrote an 11. So he didn't make an error. So a PF. Okay, so if there is no pass ball because there's no runners on, then that would be a foul out to the catcher. So it's popped up. Lombardi back to the screen. Catches it for out number 1. That brings up the catcher for the Monarchs, P. Green. Great name these guys have. You gotta love it. 6-11 versus a righty, and that's a ground ball. Easy ground ball to shortstop, and Juiced will take care of Mr. P. Green for out number 2. Buck O'Neil, possibly one of the most famous Negro leaguers of all time. Great ambassador for the league. Is playing first base today. He hit .275, 4 home runs, 68 RBIs. Quite a few number 1s in this game. For the Reds, McCormick at first, Werber at third, McCormick and left are all number 1s. And quite a few for the Monarchs. That's a 4-5, and that's going to be popped up on the infield. And Werber at the third baseman will call everybody off and put it away for out number 3. So Bucky Walters retires the Monarchs in order this inning. So we go to the bottom of the second, still scoreless. So Frank McCormick, who is playing first base, will lead off. I'm pretty sure Mike McCormick, who's playing left field, is his brother. I can't swear to that, but I think I remember seeing that. And as far as the ones for the Monarchs, Brown in center field, Strong in right field, O'Neill at first base, and Green behind the plate, and Williams at shortstop are all number one. So it would appear that this team got by mainly on defense and pitching. So anyway, Frank McCormick, who hit 269, 17 home runs, 97 RBIs, looks like the best Cincinnati hitter, will step to the plate. He gets a 5-9, and he goes down swinging. So Satchel gets his second strikeout of the game. So it looks like we might be in for a pitcher's duel here. Ernie Lombardi, catcher for the Reds, will hit. He hit 10 home runs, 60 RBIs in his 41 campaign. That's a 2-8 versus the righty, 1-11, and it's going to be gone. So trying to doing that counts for the home run robbing rule, and I'm going to try to do that. So if I can, I did some reading on it. I don't know for sure here at Crosley Field. Let's see. Lombardi is a righty, and if I remember, their wall was pretty high, and I don't know if it tells you on the card or not. Probably not. Let's see, 41. I know on the Negro League cards, it does tell you if the ballpark has the walls or not. But I'm not seeing it here. So we'll just go, for now, we'll go ahead and just call it a home run. We'll forego the robbing home run rule, but I'm pretty sure Wrigley, though, they had that big wall in left field, so we'll call it a home run. So Ernie Lombardi takes Satchel Paige deep, and it wasn't out by much, but it was out enough. And the Reds go up 1-0. I'll make sure I do that research before, or just play in the Negro League park, because I do have the information for those. So that brings up Mike McCormick, the left fielder. He hit 287, 4 home runs, 31 RBIs. He gets a 112. That's bounced back to the pitcher, and Page will field that one cleanly and throw him out for out number 2. Harry Kraft, Cincinnati center fielder, will step to the plate with 2 outs and nobody on. That's a 6-7 versus a righty, and that's popped up on the infield. Williams at short will call everyone off, and he will squeeze it for the final out of the inning. So the Reds get on the board, though, with a solo home run by Ernie Lombardi. After 2 complete, Cincinnati 1, the Monarchs nothing. So Bucky Walters, see if he can hold on to the Cincinnati lead, will face Bonnie Sorrell, the second baseman for the Monarchs. That's a 3-6 versus a righty, and that's popped up on the infield. Fry will call for it at second and squeeze it for out number 1. So Sorrell not able to catch up with that high Walters fastball. That brings up Jesse Williams, the Monarch shortstop. He hit 256. 4 homers, 53 RBIs. That's a 5-8, and that's going to be a fly ball out to center field. Kraft will track it down for out number 2. Satchel Paige will step to the plate. He's a 3-hitter. That's a 2-4, and that's a ground ball to third base. Werber sets and throws, and that will do it for the Monarchs in the third. So we go to the bottom of the third, still 1-0 Cincinnati. So Satchel Paige will be doing business with 8, 9, and 1 for the Reds here in the bottom of the third. That's a 5-7, and that's another strikeout. So that's strikeout number 3 for Satchel today. So he's pitching a great game other than that home run up to Ernie Lombardi. So Bucky Walters, who is a 3-hitter as well, will step up with 1 out, nobody on. That's a 2-9, and he's going to strike out for the 4th strikeout for Satchel today. And that's 2 away. Billy Werber led off with a ground ball back to Page in the first inning. Will step up with 2 out, nobody on. That's a 4-5. 1 is a home run, but we got an 18, so that's going to be a fly ball to left field. And Sims will take a few steps back toward the track, and he will put it away for the final out here in the bottom of the third. So the Reds go down in order. We have played 3 complete, and we have a 1-0 Cincinnati lead. So Billy Sims will lead off things here for the Monarchs. So they have the top of the order up. He lined out to Fry at second base. That's a 4-3 versus a lefty. That'll be a first base X. McCormick is a 1-8. So he is a good fielder, so we'll see what he can do here with the glove. So he got an 18, so that's a G1, and again he's an 8. So that's a 9, 8, 9, and he makes the play. So good play by McCormick at first base. We'll say he was out 3 unassisted. And quickly there's the first out here in the fourth rather. That brings up Newt Allen. He grounded out to short. That's a 2-9 versus a righty, and that's a ground ball to third this time. Werber fields it cleanly, sets and throws, and that will be the second out here for the Monarchs. Ted Strong, he has the only hit for Kansas City today, but he was promptly gunned down by Lombardi trying to steal. That's a 6-7. He's a lefty, and that's going to be a ground ball second base X. Fry is a 2-26. So 12. He gets to it with a G1, a 26, and a 13. And he makes a one-base error, so he's not able to field it cleanly, and Ted Strong will be on with 2 outs once again. So that'll be an error on Fry at second. So E4, we're going to see if he can they're holding him. If he gets a lead at 5, he's going to try it, and he gets a 4, so he's going to hang tight this time. So still holding him at first, and we got Willard Brown, who fouled out to Lombardi to lead off the second. 2 out. Runner on first. Oh, runner on first. 6-4 versus a righty. That's a ground ball shortstop X. Juiced is not that great of a fielder. He's a 3.48. Let's do this first. Okay, nothing on the wild pitch. And so let's see if he can make the play at shortstop. That's a 20, so that'll help him. That's a G1. He got an 11 as a 48. So shortstop 48, 11, and he makes the play. So good play by Juiced. And he will throw out Willard at first, and that will do it here in the top of the fourth. So seeing some good defense even from the not so good defensive people. So we go to the bottom of the fourth. Cincinnati still with a 1-run lead. Kind of rooting for a Negro League victory here. So far, I have the major leaguers have won every game, so I picked a team that was not in first place, still a good team. So I'm kind of rooting for Satchel and the Monarchs to pull this one out. Lloyd Wainer, he will lead off here for Cincinnati. He's grounded out to third in his first at bat. That's a 3-10. That's a ground ball plus injury, and I'm not doing any series or anything, so we'll just bypass the injury. So that's a ground ball to Sorrell at second base. 4-3, and that's out number 1. Lonnie Fry was a strikeout victim in his first at-bat to end the first. And he gets a 3-7, and that's a ground ball hard at Williams at short. And he will set and throw for out number 2. Frank McCormack, he was a strikeout victim as well. We'll step to the plate, 2 out, nobody on. That's a 2-4. That's a ground ball back to the box. And Page fields it cleanly. And he will retire get his third assist today on ground balls. And that will do it for the Reds in the fourth, as they go in order for the second inning in a row. So far, both teams have just one hit. Fortunately for the Reds, their one hit was Ernie Lombardi's home run. So we go to the top of the fifth, still 1-0 Reds. All right, Bucky Walters trying to hold on to this 1-run lead. We'll start off with P. Green, the Monarch catcher. That's a 6-5, and that's a ground ball to shortstop X. Juiced again is a 348. So he gets an 8, and a 3 is a ground ball 3. 48-11 at short, and he makes another play. So Juice flashing some leather out there. We'll get the first out here for the Reds. Buck O'Neill, he popped out to third to end the second inning. Righty versus the righty, Buck Walters. That's a 3-2, and that's a line out to shortstop, so he gets good wood on it, but right at juiced at short, and that will be the second out here in the top of the fifth. Bonnie Sorrell popped out to Fry, his opposite number, to lead off the third. So 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the fifth. That's a 5-3. That's a ballpark check single, and we got a 3. So he's able to get a 1-star single. So I kind of see those as infield singles. So, but Sorrell is on with 2 outs. That's the second hit for the Monarchs. See, 2-5. He gets a 13, which will make him a 12. There's 2 outs, and he's going to see if he can get a lead. So they're holding him, of course. So 2-5, and he gets a lead. Let me see, make sure he didn't get a wild pitch or something. Nope. So that's 1-13. So 1-12. He'll make it. And he does. So stolen base for Sorrell. So the Monarchs are being aggressive on the base pass today. They're successful this time, as Lombardi is not able to gun him down. So that brings up Jesse Williams, who flew out. They're going to try to, well, see, should they pitch to him or intentionally walk him to get to the pitcher? That is the question. Satchel Paige is not that great of a pitcher. Williams only hits at a 230 or a 256 clip, and he's not a clutch hitter. So they're going to go ahead and pitch to him and see if they can Satchel to lead off the next inning. So kind of a risky move, but let's see how it works out. So 3-3, so he ends up walking anyway. So how about that? One of those intentional walks. So they will end up with Page nonetheless. So the Kansas City has 2 runners on, and Satchel Paige, who grounded out to Warber at third to end the third. And I'm not doing the base runners. Man, wish I could remember that. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that. All right, Satchel Paige, 2 outs, trying to help himself here. That's a 6-8, and he's a righty, and that's a ground ball to Warber at third, and he will throw him out to end the inning. So Walters gets out of that little jam and preserves the 1-run Cincinnati lead. So they get no runs on a hit, no errors. They left 2 runners on. So we go to the bottom of the 5th. The Reds still ahead by 1. So I'm really enjoying these Negro League barnstorming tours, as you can tell, seeing that's what the last 4 videos have been. Again, the Negro Leagues have always fascinated me, and it's fun to kind of watch, see them playing real-life teams. I think when they did the barnstorming, usually they would kind of stack up their teams with more of their better players as opposed to just doing, the regular team. And I think the major leagues would too at times, but sometimes they would just play, teams as opposed to all-star teams. But at any rate, I'm enjoying this very much. I'd like to see the Negro Leagues get some wins, but I've only done like 4 or 5 games, so. And there's some very good teams here. So anyway, Ernie Lombardi will lead off. He has the sole run for the Reds, a home run back in the 2nd. That's a 4-7, and 1-3 is a double. He got a 14, so that's going to be a fly ball out to Brown in center field. And he'll track it down for the first out of the inning. Mike McCormack, left fielder extraordinaire. He bounced back to Page in his last at bat. That's a 4-8. 1-18 is a single, and that will indeed be a single as we got a 14 on the 20-sided dice. Or die, I should say. So Frank McCormick, he collects the 2nd Cincinnati base hit. So Green, P. Green is a -3 arm. Page is a -1. So with them holding, that would combine for a 4-6. And so even if he gets a lead, that's 1-13. So he's not going to try to go anywhere. That brings up Harry Kraft, who popped out to shortstop in his first at bat. Nothing on the black dice. Black die. 2-9. And that's going to be a 2-star double. So how about that? Kraft is a 249 hitter, but he connects there. So that will put runners on 2nd and 3rd with 1 out. So the Reds get 2 hits in a row. That brings up Eddie Juiced. So there's 1 out. Juiced hits at 253. Walters is a 3 hitter. And they need to get 2 outs, but that sets up the force. They're going to go ahead and walk Juiced. And see if they can squeeze out a double play out of Walters here if they don't strike him out. And I'm not doing the runners once again. I'm going to have to give myself an electric shock or something to help me remember that. Okay, so they're going to have the infield back. Well, I don't know. This is a pitcher's duel. They're going to bring the corners in, keep the middle infield back, and see how that works. So we got an 18, nothing on the black die. So here we go. Satchel Paige trying to get out of trouble here in the bottom of the 5th. That's a 2-7, and he strikes out Walters. So that worked out well. So he's able to strike out the opposing pitcher. And that would be 2 outs with the bases still jammed. For leadoff man Billy Warber, who is 0 for 2. So we will consult the black die again. 12, nothing going on there. So Page, 1 out away from dodging a bullet. So here's the pitch to Billy Warber. Important at bat this game. That's a 2-9. 1-2, it's out of here, and he got a 3. How about that? So that's a fly ball to right field. And he just missed it. So Warber got all of that one, and he drives Strong back to the wall. But Strong is able to flag it down to end the inning. So that got the fans to their feet, only to be disappointed. So Satchel Paige is able to hold on to that, or keep the lead, or the deficit rather, to 1 run. And they leave the bases loaded. And we go to the top of the 6th. Still 1-0 Cincinnati. So see if these Monarch hitters can get to Bucky Walters. They had the top of the order up here in the top of the 6th. Sims is 0 for 2. That's a 4-10 versus a lefty. That's a fly ball to center field X. Kraft is a 2-8. So we'll see what he can do here. So that's a 10. So he gets an F2, and he's an 8-13. And he's able to make a fine play. So Kraft tracks it down. Nice glove work there once again. And that will be the first out here in the top of the 6th. That brings up Newt Allen. He's grounded out twice, both to the left side of the infield. That's a 1-9, and that's going to be a single. So 3rd hit of the day for the Monarchs with 1 out, trying to get something going here. So again, not the greatest arm with Lombardi. Let's see. If he gets a 6, he gets a decent lead. But if he gets an 8, he's automatically out. So that's kind of risky. So, and they're not going to hold him. So McCormick's playing behind him, but they're not going to try it. So that brings up Ted Strong. He singled and reached on an error. Our black die is 14. Nothing going on there. That's a 6-4 versus a lefty. That's a shortstop X. Juiced again is a 348, but so far today he has hit all his X chances. So see if he can do it again. So that's not good. That's a 2-3. So that's going to be a 2-star single. And then he got a 48-13. So he doesn't make an error, so he's not able to get to the ball, but that will put runners on the corners for the Monarchs. So the Monarchs with a good opportunity here to get on the board, to tie this game or take the lead. So Strong, let's see, if he gets a lead, he's got a really good chance to steal. So they're going to hold him. And he's going to try. If he gets a 5, and he gets a 4. So he didn't get the lead, so he's not going to chance it. Let's see. The Reds, how are they going to do the infield here? Willard Brown. They're going to bring in they're going to do the corners and then do up the middle for the double play. So that's a 5, nothing on the black die. So big at bat here. Willard Brown, cleanup hitter for the Monarchs, trying to do some damage. That's a 3-6, and he hits a 2-star single. So how about that? We have a tie ball game. Solid single there. Strong will make it to 3rd as Allen scores from 3rd. And it is 1-1. So Bucky Walters running into some trouble here in the 6th. Willard Brown is being held. If he gets a 6, it's about automatic. Now let's see if there's a wild pitch or anything first. Nope. So that's a 6. So he got the lead. So that's a 20. So that's going to be a 19. So if he won to 19, he's going to steal second base. And he gets a 13, so he does indeed steal it. So the Monarchs, using their speed to their advantage, have had 2 stolen bases now. And they have runners on second and third with just 1 out. And P. Green at the plate. So the Reds are going to bring, and I'm not doing the runners. Second and third, there they are. Hopefully you can see it here on my scorebook, but still, I wish I could figure out some way to remember that and do better. It's starting to bug me now. All right, so P. Green is up. The Reds are going to bring the infield in. P. Green is grounded out to shortstop twice. Let's check our black die. Nothing going on. So big at bat here for the Reds. That's a 3-8, and that's a ground ball to shortstop A, but the infield is in, so that will require, so the infield in, ground ball A, the base is loaded, or second and third rather. That's a 1. Batter out, runners hold. So that strategy paid off for the Reds, so he hit it right at juiced, and Strong is not able to advance. And we still are tied. So that will bring up Buck O'Neill. They'll go ahead and pitch to him. So that's a 5. Nothing doing on the black die. So here we go. Another big at bat. Buck O'Neill trying to give the Monarchs the lead. He gets a 4-3. That's a first base X, and McCormick is a 1-8. So good chance here he will catch it. So that's a 9. So that's with him being a 1, that's an automatic. So that's a G1. So the only hope is it's an error, and he rolled an 8, and he is an 8. So 8-8, and he is able to make a fine play. So another defensive gem here, as McCormick possibly saves the game. We'll say that's 3-1. So a big threat there, but able to hold the Reds to hold the Monarchs to 1 run. So they get 1 run on 3 base hits. There were no errors. They left 2 runners on. They've left 5 on in the last 3 innings, the Monarchs have. But they did tie it up. So we go to the bottom of the 6th, 1-1. Got a good game going. All right, Satchel Paige trying to see if he can keep this game tied. He has 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Reds. Lloyd Wainer, who is grounded out twice, will start things off. That's a 2-6 versus a righty, and he grounds to first base. Buck O'Neill, who's a fine defender, fields it with no issue, no troubles. We'll say that's a 3 unassisted for out number 1. Lonnie Fry is 0 for 2. And that's a 3-4 versus the righty, and that's a strikeout. So Page collects his 6th strikeout of the game for out number 2. Frank McCormack is 0 for 2, Cincinnati first baseman, looking for his first hit today. That's a 6-5, and he goes down swinging as well. So Page has struck out 7 batters, and he retires the Reds in order. I need to find the strikeout. There it is. Top of the 7th, 1-1. 7, 8, and 9 due up for the Monarchs. Bonnie Sorrell is singled, stole a base, popped out to second base in his 2 efforts this evening. That's a 5-5 versus a lefty. That's going to be a double. So how about that? Bonnie Sorrell with the big double to lead off the 7th here for the Monarchs. So they're going to hold him at second because he's a decent chance to steal. And again, Lombardi not that great of an arm. So that brings up Jesse Williams. He is walked and hit a fly out in his one at bat. And put our runner on second base. Hey, I caught it that time. There may be hope. Got a 3 on the black die there. Nothing going on. That's a 3-6, and that's going to be a single to left field. Oh, boy. So he was being held, so that means he drops 1 to 15. McCormick's arm is 0. There's not 2 out, so as I understand it, that's 1 to 15. But you got to take those. I mean, that's like a 750% chance, but there's nobody out. You do have the pitcher up. They're gonna send him. He's a good runner, so 1 to 15, he is going to score. And he gets a 2. So how about that? Sorrell's able to take advantage of his speed, and the Monarchs go up by 1. McCormick's a fine defender, not much of an arm, however. It wouldn't have made a difference with that 2. Johnny Bench could have scored on that one. So big hit there by Jesse Williams. Puts the Monarchs up by 1. So they're holding him. He's going to try to get a lead. 2 to 4 and 5 he will. And he gets a 4, so that's 1 to 18. So 1 to 17, he is going to steal second base. And he gets a 16, so it was a close call, but he's able to get in there. So they're taking advantage of Lombardi's arm here as he threw out their first effort, but they have stolen 3 in a row now. And that will take him out of the double play. So the Monarchs generating some offense here with their legs. So that brings up Page. He could bunt him to third. I usually don't do that because it's too risky, because if you miss, then you've got a runner on second. And so I'm going to let Page go ahead and hit away. Let's test our black die here. We got a 4, nothing going on. So Page is grounded out to Warber at third twice. So he gets a 5-2, and he's a righty. So that's a fly ball to center field. Kraft will catch it, and Williams will hold at second. So 1 away. Monarchs hoping to add to their lead here. Of course, with the offense today, 1 might be enough. So Billy Sims, he's 0 for 3. We'll take his cracks at Walters. See if he can drive in that third run for the Monarchs. That's a 3-7 versus a righty, and that's a ground ball to second base, so that will advance the runner for what that's worth. So ground out. Williams will go to third, and that's 4 to 3. So 2 outs. We have Williams over at third. That brings up Newt Allen. So we'll test our black die here. We got a 9. All right. Walter's trying to keep the damage down to 1 run this inning. That's a 5-8, and he will do it, as that's a lazy fly ball out to Kraft in center field. He squeezes it to end the inning. 7th inning stretch time. They get 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 1 runner left. We go to the bottom of the 7th, 2-1, Kansas City Monarchs. We got 5, 6, and 7 due up for Cincinnati here in the bottom of the 7th. Ernie Lombardi, he has a home run, and he hit a fly ball to center field. That's a 2-8 and 1-11, and he has homered again. This time to right field. He goes the opposite way. It's I'm sorry. I'm glad I double-checked that. It's a 2-11. 2-11 is a home run check ballpark, but here in Cincinnati today, that's a 0. So that's not a home run. So he hits it deep to right field, but Strong is able to track it down. Yeah, I'm glad I caught that. That would have been a big boo-boo. So Lombardi goes the other way gives it a ride. But here with our crappy weather tonight and Crosley Field in 1941, it stays in the park. So Mike McCormick has singled and grounded out. That's a 1-7 versus a righty, and he flies out to Brown in center field for out number 2. So Satchel Paige hanging on to that lead here for the Monarchs, trying to get the first Negro League Diamond Gem win here in our Barnstorming tour. Harry Kraft is doubled and popped out. That's a 4-4, and that's going to be a catcher card X. Green is a 1-6, so he is a fine fielder. So he gets an 11. That's a PO, and he is a 4, actually, not a 6. So a 4, and we got an 8. And so he makes a fine play. So, let's see, PO. The batter pops out to the catcher. So that's in fair ground, but Kraft will call everybody off and makes a fine play for the third out of the inning. So good job by P. Green there. That'll do it for the Reds in the 7th, as they go in order for the third or the second inning in a row. So it looks like Satchel Paige is buckling down, trying to get this win. All right, so we have 3, 4, and 5 for the Monarchs here in the top of the 8th. Ted Strong is 2 for 3, 2 singles. That's a 2-6, and he's going to draw a walk. So he'll lead off here, getting on base. Let's see. If he gets a 5, they're going to hold him. But he just needs a 5, and he gets an 8. So he's not able to get a lead, so he will hold it first. That brings up Willard Brown, who had the big hit in the 6th to tie the game up. So he's 1 for 3 with a RBI single and a stolen base. Check our black die. 5, nothing going on. Put Mr. Strong on first base. That's a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Fry is a 226. So see if he's able to get to it. So he gets a 20, so that's a G1, and he's a 26, and we got a 12. So 26, 12, and he makes the play, so that's a G1 with a runner on first. That's a DP 4-3. Batter is out, runner on first is out, so that is a 4-6-3 double play. So nice job by Fry there to get to it and to start the double play. So that's big double play there for the Reds. 4-6-3. With 2 outs, that'll bring P. Green to the plate. Nobody on. He has grounded out to short 3 times in a row, keeping Mr. Juice busy. That's a 4-6, and he will ground to short once again. So I know 4 strikeouts in a row is a golden sombrero. I wonder what 4 ground out to shortstops are. So that's a ground out. 6-3. Well, that'll do it for the Monarchs in the 8th here, as Bucky Walters keeps them within 1. And we go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 2-1 Kansas City Monarchs. So we got 8, 9, and 10 due up for Cincinnati. Eddie Juiced, who's having a good day in the field. He was intentionally walked and struck out. That's a 4-9, and that's a strikeout. So Satchel Paige with strikeout number 8 here. Letting everybody know he's still in fine form. So we got the bottom of the 8th. Do you pinch hit here? Let's see who we got on the bench. Yeah, they're going to go ahead and try to pinch hit. So they're going to bring Ivel Goodman to do the honors. So we will, that's the home. Ivel Goodman will come in for Walters. He's a lefty versus the righty Page. He hit .268, a home run, 12 RBIs, and 149 at-bats. Pinch hit. So Ivel Goodman here seeing what he can do off the bench. That's a 6-8 versus a lefty, and he proceeds to be struck out by Satchel Paige. So Paige is determined to get this win. So that's Goodman will go back to the bench dejected. And so it's Billy Warber with 2 out, nobody on. He is 0 for 3 tonight. He gets a 5-2. That's a ground ball to second base X. Sorrell is a 2-13. So that's a 4. So he's able to get to it with a G, but that's a high number, so that's not good. So he's a 14, and we rolled a 15. 14, 15, and that is indeed going to be an error. So Satchel Paige gives Serrell the evil eye as he's not able to get him out of the inning here with that one. 1 base error on the second baseman. So that gives Cincinnati some new life. So Werber is on first. Again, with Page and Green, they're not going to try to, they don't want to get thrown out at second because that's -4. They're holding him, that's -6. So if he got a lead, it still would be 1-9. That's just too risky. So he's going to hold and hope somebody can get him in. So with 2 outs, that'll bring up Wayner, Lloyd Wayner. We get a 10 on the black die, nothing doing. Wayner is 0 for 3 today. That's a 1-10, and that's a single to right field. Strong has a -3 arm, so they're not going to get him thrown out at third, so he's going to hold at second. So runners on first and second with 2 outs. That brings up Lonnie Fry, the second baseman. He's 0 for 3 today. He's the 3rd hitter in the Reds lineup. So nothing doing on the black dice. Page having to buckle down here to get out of this inning. That's a 2-5, and that's a fly ball to left field. Sims coasts in and squeezes it to end the inning. So Monarch fans breathe a sigh of relief. So no runs on 1 hit, 1 error. They left 2 runners on. We go to the 9th inning. Still a 2-1 Kansas City lead. So we got to find a pitcher here for the Reds. Seeing we pinched hit for Bucky Walters. So let's see who we got. Looks like Elmer Riddle is carded to relieve. And again, this is just a one-off, so we'll put him in at pitcher. Mr. Elmer Riddle. We'll see if he can keep the lead to 1 for the Monarchs. He's a right-hander. He was 19-4 with a save, 2.24 ERA, so fine pitcher. Buck O'Neill will take first crack at him. Right-handed first baseman is 0 for 3 today. That's a 5-6, and that's a strikeout. So Riddle comes out of the bullpen throwing BBs. Out number 1. Bonnie Sorrell, who made that big error that almost cost the Monarchs. We'll see if he can amend. He does have a double and a single, stolen base, and a run scored, so he's having a good day offensively at least. That's a 2-9 versus a righty, but he proceeds to strike out, and Riddle has gunned down 2 in a row. Jesse Williams, he had the big single back in the 7th to put the Reds up or the Monarchs up rather, 2-1. So he will see if he can figure out Riddle here. No pun intended. 4-8. 1-7 is a single. We got a 19, so that's going to be hit hard to Warber at third. So at least somebody made contact. But he found Warber's glove, and that will do it here in the top of the 9th. So Riddle does a good job of keeping the Monarch lead at 1. So here we go, the bottom of the 9th. Satchel Paige on the mound. The Reds have 4, 5, and 6. And we'll see if the Negro Leaguers can get their first win here in our Barnstorming tour. Frank McCormick is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts. Cincinnati first baseman. He gets a 3-7, and he starts off with a single. So the Cincinnati crowd getting noisy here. As it's starting to get exciting. McCormack is he's automatically out 9-10. So that brings up Lombardi, who's one of their best hitters, but he's also slow. But he's not a very good bunter either. Yeah, they're going to have to take their chances. So he's not going to try to steal. And they're not going. Buck O'Neill's going to play behind him. Because again, 9-10, he's automatically out. So that's just not worth the risk. So hopefully Lombardi cannot hit into double play. He does have a home run today. So Satchel Paige, we got to put our runner on first. There he is, Mr. McCormick. That's a 2-5, and he draws a walk. So the Reds get the first 2 runners on here in the bottom of the 9th. So Mike McCormick, the left fielder, will step to the plate. He's 1 for 3, and he is a good bunter. But unfortunately, he's the best hitter out of the next 4. Now let's check our die here. Nothing going on the black die, so they're going to let him hit. Here we go. That's a 1-7, and that's a fly ball to center field. So Brown will track it down, and McCormick will hold it second for out number 1. So big first out there for Satchel. Harry Kraft. He is 1 for 3 with a double. 16, nothing on the black die. So big at bat here for Satchel Paige. We got runners on first and second. Harry Kraft at the plate. That's a 5-6, and he strikes out. So see, Paige is a 7, so he's still not tired. So because if he was, that would have been a single, but instead it's a strikeout. So that's strikeout number 10 for Satchel Paige, and that will leave it up to Eddie Juiced. Shortstop for Cincinnati. He is 0 for 2. He struck out twice, was intentionally walked once. And 7, nothing on the black die. So everybody on their feet. Unfortunately, Juiced is not a clutch hitter. So that's a 1-8. Ground ball to shortstop. Williams sets and throws, and that will do it. So Satchel Paige pitches a great game. Let me get this in the books here. Out 6-3. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 runners left. And it is 2-1 Kansas City over Cincinnati. So we have our first Negro League victory. So that was a fun game. I was glad to see Satchel Paige pitch so well. He went 9 innings, 5 hits, a run, 1 earned run, 2 walks, 10 strikeouts. So I'd say he's definitely the star of the game. So I hope you enjoyed that. I know I did. That was a really fun game. So I appreciate it very much. And as usual, I will see you next time.